Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for June 21st, 2021. To access Cathy's Zoom call, we're at her website here, CathyDSlaght.com. We'll scroll down and look for the Zoom banner right here, and we'll click here. This will take us over to the Zoom platform where we will allow. Now remember, this is just a demonstration of the SRC4u software for entertainment purposes. We will join with computer audio, and we are live.
It is 10 o'clock, so I guess we can get started. I wanted to mention some new posts are up. I want to just show you, if I can get to it without losing everybody. This is a post, and we're going to do a little something beyond where we've been. We've talked about the voltage, the thymus, the back scan, which we wanted again, by the way, today. The liver, etc., the atomic energy, and we're going to go a little deeper to the DNA. And along with that, I have a very interesting book, DA and the I Ching. Are y'all familiar with the I Ching?
Yes. Yep, a little bit. Yeah, just a tad. Feel free to tell us anything you want.
Many years ago, the I Ching seems to be something the Western mind can't quite gather. It involves symbols. There are 64 symbols. They call the symbols Gua. We don't know how the Chinese came across something like I Ching, but it seems to be a manual scan of the matrix. And many years ago, I was in real estate and I did a lot of reading, all fiction. And one night I picked up a book. It mentioned I Ching, and I don't know what happened. I got up, went to the car, drove to Barnes and Nobles, and bought a book, and I've been doing I Ching ever since. So it dawned on me that we could start incorporating, especially with this book, DNA and the I Ching, we might want to start incorporating some I Ching just to get the information. So it's known also as the Book of Change. This is not psychic work. This is simply pulling in information, much like we're doing with our computers and the SRC. And you ask a question. And so I asked, let me get back up here. Is there a message today for the energy group? Now, this was yesterday. And we got, interestingly enough, Gua 63. And so that is, you have come a long way, but the journey is not over. The most difficult work is over, but the wise person never stops moving forward in incremental steps. You are entering new territory, and it will be smooth going at first. Stay balanced internally and externally, or else the road ahead could become bumpy.
Wow.
Which sounded to me like let's keep doing our SRC. But
exactly.
I may be a little biased.
Cathy, that will be difficult at first. It doesn't say about after at first. It's like beginner's luck there.
It's a very, the I Ching literally has never steered me wrong. When I first was getting sick, and of course I was still in real estate, we're talking 20 years ago, and I decided to move to Brooksville. I wanted to buy a little farm. I'm talking about little, and work with the land. And I actually found a home up there that, and the realtor who found it for me actually wanted me then to be her partner in real estate. So really it looked ideal. I was very excited, made a deposit on the house, and then told her I've got to go home and sleep on it. I didn't want to tell her I wanted to do the I Ching. So I came home and asked what the outcome would be of purchasing this property. It came back, don't do it. So I thought, does not understand. So I wrote it out longer, asked again, and it came back, don't do it. So then I really wrote it out long, all the details, and it came back with 4 moving lines. Now in I Ching, what happens actually, this is about the yin and the yang. You have the short lines, which are the yin, and the long, which are the yang, and they all work together. None of them are bad. But when you get one called a moving line, that means it's going to change. And I got one with 4 moving lines, and it said, you don't have the money, you don't have the talent, You do not have the energy, and don't ask this question again. And so what had happened, if I had done that move, I sure would not have gotten involved in energy work, or, I would have been on a farm. So anyway, that's an example. But also, there's a post on the, where are we? The Energy Visionaries group. And what we start doing is dowsing in a few codes in reference to the vaccination, because there's so much stress out there in reference, and we don't know what kind of energy and information we're getting. This is YouTube I was telling you about, and they pulled it off YouTube. Luckily, Joanna had saved it, so we've got it. May or may not wish to watch it. It is 3 hours. These men do some interrupting of each other. It's quite interesting. This is the guy right here that developed the mRNA vaccine. These are not anti-vax people. This is some kind of an entrepreneur who's put a lot of money into educating the public. This guy is a PhD. I didn't get to write down as much about him, but he's the moderator. You can watch it. But what I want to stress is we're not talking about whether or not to get the vaccination. We're talking about sovereignty, which means we get our facts and make our own choice.
Right.
And if we get all upset over either agenda, then we're lowering our own voltage. So I'm going to every day, and treat yourself on this and just the others that have given you permission. We're not trying to manipulate anybody, but this is what we started with, and if it's me, I've done the demo on me. Affirm order and harmony, can't be a bad thing. Antibodies, bioethics, we are realizing that there's a little greed involved in this. The gentleman speaking were concerned that the vaccination might evolve into a more dangerous virus because of the vaccination. So I found a code to block that. Block the removal of reports from the VAERS system. Again, there is conclusive evidence that when people report a side effect or a death, it's being removed. It's not in there. Brainwashing. Even doctors that have the facts somehow are not going along with what they know. Break away from control. Bring to life the mass programming of minds. I love this one. Calamity is transformed to joy. Choose to see truth. Dehypnotize, and then divine ideas, which we are surrounded by. Now, I did another teaching this morning, and I'm going to try to post on this Energy Visionaries every day until we get through these codes. But I went in and I said, what does mankind most need to know about the COVID-19 vaccine? We got Qua 12. It says, this ominous hexagram symbolizes heaven and earth out of balance. Creative energies are flowing the wrong way, and little is accomplished. Ideas and projects stagnate, and enthusiasm disappears. Those who are not worthy of accomplishment are on the rise. Lesser men and women dominate the scene. Wise men note that the situation is dangerous and withdraw into introspection, modesty, and meditation. Very little of value can be accomplished at this time. But there are the moving lines, like I mentioned. So we have moving line 2. You are surrounded by negative people who exert a negative influence on everything they touch. By steadfastly closing your mind to the influence of unprincipled, inferior people, you will achieve success. And it goes on, the time of decline is only just beginning, so you must cultivate enough strength and patience to see you safely through the end of this period. Above all, continue to act ethically and honorably. But remember, this is the book of change. So it's got a moving line, which is excellent, that the time of decline is at an end. In other words, we get through this. You will regain whatever losses you have experienced, provided you continue to act with integrity and honor. you are in a position to turn the situation into one of great prosperity and joy, but it will require acting with great effort and imagination. Look at that imagination. You see that key? And then that transfers it into Gua 17, which is supreme success. So it looks again, with this harmonizing into joy from calamity, what if we learn to activate our own healing ability and our own imagination and learn more about the creation of our reality? You see that as a possibility? And then for the group, this is really weird. Let me say that it's about as common as getting hit by a meteor to get the same Gua. And I'll be doggone if for the group, I said, what does the energy group most need to know today? And we got Gua 63 again, the same one I just read to you. So for whatever that's worth, if you get a chance, look at this. And I want to show you also.
Question.
We are still working, which is unbelievable. We have just plugged away here, and we're still going.
Kathy,
so we'll just let that be. Yes.
Is all that stuff in that book?
Yep. No. That's I Ching. It's a Chinese oracle. And you can find it online and some information. I Ching has been around probably 4,000 or 5,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I have no idea how they figured this out. I don't know if it was some kind of information from above or what. But you will find it be extremely helpful. In fact, the Chinese, those who ended up losing the mainland, they said it was because their generals stopped using the I Ching.
Wow.
So you can just go online?
It's just something.
You can go online and find it?
Yes. I like to do the I Ching. I work with bamboo sticks, and you go into a little meditation and ask your question, and it's been extremely helpful. You don't want to, how do you put this? You're not going to depend on this. It's information, just like everything else we're getting.
Right. Yeah,
but it can be
I remember years ago that I came across a I Ching.
Yeah.
Can you get
Pardon?
it now?
I don't know if I'm sure there's every variety, because, we Americans are marketers, so there's probably every variety of kit and coin and stick and everything else, but you don't need it. It's very simple, and just get a book, and really you don't even need the book. There's information online. I like the book, but the idea is the knowledge is within you. You're just pulling it out. That's all you're doing. Same thing, just like, for example, with our work today, and this, you'll see this all the time. We didn't want the first clearing. We didn't want a second. See, we're doing it ourselves now. We're waking up our own chi. We didn't need a thymus cocktail. We didn't need a voltage cocktail, but then we got to the back. We did want that, and that, if you look at the screencast for the group, we wanted that yesterday as well. So we're really working on this back vertebrae signaling. So again, all extremely subtle. This is an interesting one as a top one. Everything is growling inside of me because life has nothing good to offer. We don't want to have that energy. Feel as if I'm not being listened to. Repression of sexual energy. This is something to clear. Grew up in too authoritarian of an environment. I changed, I put everything just clear so we can just put all this in. We don't need to be hopping around. Stress related to the cardiac energy center, tend to jump to conclusions based on false information, reaction against authority, clear, believe my survival depends on the love of others, clear, anxious about not succeeding, again, in reference to the back, curled up in fear, feel frustrated, bewildered, resentful, envious, and jealous of others. I want to show you, hold that thought. here's what we're interested in today for our Pro Tools, and you'll see the timeline there. And in keeping with what Ralph suggested, I'm letting it go a day at a time, you know, before I keep going. But I want you to see we're still working to remove resentment from the timeline. Let's see where we are right now. All right, that went down. Let's let that one finish up. And while we're at it, the supercharger, this was the last one, internal healing capabilities. Want to clear outside non-beneficial influences, where I went ahead and started going down a notch. Now we're at the 8, and you can see at the 8 yesterday, we still didn't quite have our energy going in the right direction as far as the mediator goes. Let's put that back in. And we'll come back to it. No longer feel like struggling, carelessness, all very subtle stuff. Remember, this is a group. Pronounced timidity, inner tension, deep insecurity before which I feel unarmed and resourceless, feel oppressed, fear for survival. These are some of the things that our awareness clears about 80% of it. And that's at least what I've been taught and what I believe. Now, we see T9. So if you have this encyclopedia, you can at that point look up and see
the ninth thoracic. The ninth thoracic. What is a T9?
Well, in the book, Healing is Voltage, he calls them T's. But in the ailments encyclopedia, it's under D. And that one is insecurity. That one's about insecurity in a nutshell.
That's interesting.
Yes. And a few more. We can look, if I understand correctly, we should probably focus on 300 and less. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more than that and just put that in here. And also, even though we're not asking for the dispenser, what I had really planned on devoting this week to back to that. And that's me. I wanted oils last night, like 25 hours of energy. So, yeah. So anyway, let's go in here. And I thought it might be interesting this week just to make some cocktails. But it's just some information. For example, let's make in reference to the liver. I'm not seeing any special order here. Does anybody have a suggestion for where we might want to start?
About wherever you would start.
Well, I mean, there's no logic to it. I'm going to go ahead. I think it's
name liver. This is the only organ in the body that talks about live or alive.
It talks about what?
Live
Oh,
or alive.
yes,
So
it does.
when we're choosing things that we want to enlarge or whatever, look at things that contribute to our being, life, and living.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's right. And that is, many people say the liver is it's hard to know which is most important because we're all one and all a unit, but there doesn't seem to be any question that there's a lot of liver stress out there.
Well, the liver is I know everyone on here knows this, but because the liver is the only organ that can regenerate itself, it almost has to be looked at as a primo organ.
Mm-hmm. And we need to hear that over and over. And this was another thing we had done the other day. Let's just look at this just out of curiosity. It's called Chemical Belly. We wanted something like 20 hours. Let's see where we are now. Good, look at that, yay. So, so let's go in now. Maybe I'll leave that Gong for a moment. Let's just see with what we've got. Oh, and I want to go ahead and add the image for GWA 63. Let me see if I don't know if I can access that. I don't want to lose everybody, but that will be added later. I may add it to the supercharger this time.
Do they have healing numbers for the I Ching?
They do for some. I've checked. I know that GWA 46, which is one we ask for often in the sustenance balancer, has a code. I think GWA 1 does, and they probably would add this one. Yeah. So that's worth checking. Let's see if we can. This one, for some reason, it doesn't.
It will tomorrow.
It very well may. So we're wanting a wonder click, so let's just get our information here.
And I'd like to point out, thank you for Kevin for posting the link to a website for I Ching.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Thanks,
I can't
Kevin.
see that. Yeah, thank you. Which website, Kevin, did you pick?
He's not talking.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thankful. Thank you for that. Okay, so we see our focus here at this point. Legs and feet, we're carrying resistance. Unwellness. Well, let's look and see where we are.
It's I Ching online.
Thank you. Thank you. This book I'm reading, I haven't gone further to look, but he apparently has developed a computerized I Ching also. But I don't know any more about it, so great. There's a lot to learn, and it's a very helpful. My goodness, we got a little related to unwellness. Vertebrae C7, swelling, respiratory, reproductive. all subtle, suppression, captivated, stress factor, vaccines, imagine that. A person who makes no mistakes generally makes nothing.
Mhm.
Envious, transpersonal meaning, restore vital physical life energy. Just douse, let's see where we are with that. Let's just amp that up and put it in the shin.
Can I share something?
Yes, yes.
Those of you that have the glyphs book, I have been cutting those out and using the BET to put it in me. So I'm waiting to see, I don't know how long it takes to feel the full results, but I can feel something when I'm using the BET. So.
And that's GLIF?
GLYPHS. There's a whole series of books that she has.
The author's name?
Jean Logan.
Thank you. Jean is all I could remember. Logan.
Thank you.
I love that BET. I had one book of hers, of course, with this move. No telling where it is. But it's thought-provoking, especially when you consider the power of images and what Mary was saying about what Donna Eden said, seeing the images even in the body. Many say our entire matrix, this is all a combination of images, which then code us.
What is BET? Is that another book?
No, when we were talking about the disc last week, when we had the doctor on, his device.
Yeah. That's your biotheric, etheric transfer.
Right.
I said, why not try? Because she wants you to tape them to your body, but the tape is very irritating. And so I just decided to try the BET with the paper next to me and sending it through.
I think that's fabulous.
Great idea.
Yes.
Could you also tape the glyph to a glass of water and then drink the water?
You can probably put it underneath, like he talked about his discs, putting them underneath. I don't see why you can't put it underneath the water, but he says like 15 minutes just for a few ounces. So it might have to be a little longer than that.
And some of those codes, as we share them on the Energy Visionaries, you can also take that just onto your water for the day. The water definitely carries consciousness.
Yeah.
Let's just do one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and add Gua 63 to the supercharger. So let's just see how long. I'm not going to do it on here because I don't want to search for the image and lose everybody.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, so we're going to take 24 hours of Gua 63.
Wow.
Let's see what else we've got here. Emotions, and timeline, supercharger, mediator. So let's just finish up with emotions. So that even though we're not asking for the thymus energetic, some of these. All secret garden hidden stuff. There's the heavy metal. Curse, which probably so we're going to have to look at that at some point a little bit more carefully. 9 hours. Well, it looks like
Great. Thank you, Cathy.
thanks a lot, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kevin.
Enjoy.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks, Karen. Bye-bye.
I'm going to share the links that Kevin did in the meeting. I'm going to exit out of the Zoom call here. Leave the meeting. I'm going to stop this momentarily. The links that Kevin shared was this one, the Yixing Online, Yixing-online.com. And then this one, which is the Yixing, which I'm not sure what that, FACADE.com, Yixing. Okay. And then we're back on Cathy's website. This was a demonstration of the SRC4u software for June 21st, 2021. The client list, if you would like to be part of the actual demonstration that you see that is being recorded, you can click on this banner here. It's a $27 a month fee, and you would just need to read through all the information here. There's the link to subscribe. It's a monthly fee and you can quit at any time, and then this waiver, which would be sent back to Cathy. Going back to the front page of her website, there's the banner to join the client group of the SRC daily demonstration of the software. And it's just not the demonstration of the software. She works on the back end as well constantly. And that's the banner to join the Zoom call. So thank you for joining. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.